You're listening to the Brilliant Breakthroughs Podcast, episode number 53 with Greg Nicholson.
Hi, small business owners. Welcome to Brilliant Breakthroughs Podcast, where we focus on creating brilliant breakthroughs for the small business owner. FYI, that's also the name of the #1 Amazon best-selling book for small business and entrepreneurship. The good news is you can find this book in paperback and ebook form just by going to Amazon and typing in Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner. And the subtitle is Fresh Perspectives on Profitability, People, Productivity, and Finding Peace in Your Business. And if you're listening to this after November 2018, the book we're referencing on this episode is The Pretty Blue Book. So hi, rock stars. My name is Maggie Mongan. I'm the anthology leader of this great #1 best-selling book series for small businesses. And today we are here and we are honored to have Greg Nicholson, a #1 Amazon best-selling author, with us to talk about your business's profitability and really what you need to be doing differently to get your business where it needs to be. So welcome, Greg.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, one more time. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So everybody, Greg's chapter is the second one, and it's titled, If Your Marketing Efforts Aren't Bringing in New Clients, Here's the 3-Step Solution. And I have to tell you, it's a pretty good chapter.
Thank you. It's at least a good title.
Now you're being modest. You are an expert at what you do, hands down. And, you know, what I love about your chapter is you wrote what I know to be true. And I have a marketing background, and I've said a lot of what you've written in different parts and at different times over the years, but you just packed it all into one nice little chapter for everybody to go, oh, this is how I do it.
That was the intent. We had, was it 10 pages or what have you? And so it was like, put everything you know and put it really simply and succinctly and put it into 10 pages on, if you're a small business owner, here's how to market. Here's what to do, step by step.
Well, you succeeded.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Everybody better be reading chapter 2 in the Blue Book. Okay, Greg, people talk to you about a lot of different things, and they come to you for different reasons. You're the marketing guy.
Yeah.
You're the master at messaging, right? Ooh, yeah, that took you back a little bit.
Master of messaging, huh? TM. All right.
Ooh. You got a new moniker. You didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I imagine a lot of people come to you and they say, hey, my business is lagging. I need some help. And they have some stuff that they got to work through personally first before they can even step into working with a good marketer, right?
A lot of times, yeah. A lot of it is the mindset. And it sounds like I've got a neighbor who's doing a yard blower. Let me shut my window here real quick. Sorry about that, listening. There we go.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. And so when I encounter and talk to business owners, and so often they look at marketing as kind of a necessary evil, and they'll have this mindset of, all right, how much is this going to cost me? And I certainly understand that. I'm a small business owner. You're a small business owner. You get it. And you want to be very wise with how you spend your money and on all that. But
Good.
I really think that the best way to look at it is to look at it as an investment, is that you are investing in your business.
Oh, amen. And I think that there is a misunderstanding out there in the marketplace with small business that You need to get the help that you need to get, or you
Mhm.
won't stay in business. I probably stole a little bit of your thunder there. But why don't you tell us, really give us an example or two of some conversations you've had and where the glitch is in the small business owner's mind, because we don't know what we don't know sometimes.
Right. And I think, part of the challenge is that there's so much noise out there and there's so many shiny uh, things out there. Oh, now it's all about Facebook. It's about Instagram. It's about Google. It's whatever it is. No, and there's others returning to old school. It's now about direct mail or cold calling or whatever it may be. Any of these things can work, right? The messaging has to be really good, really strong. You have to be talking to the right people, regardless of what you're doing. But kind of back to that mindset, no one invests in a stock thinking, how much does this stock cost me? They think
Ah,
about
I love it.
how much can I make? This is an investment. I'm looking for a return on my investment. Now, anyone who's invested in the stock market has probably also made some poor choices and you've lost some money there. That was not what you were intending to do, but you're paying attention to it, and the model holds. It is an investment, and some of the investments will not pan out. And that's the reality. You don't bat 1,000. And so part of how I like to think about this is test, test, test. Do small tests. If you had, only $1,000 to invest in advertising your business, then think about a couple of maybe very small tests that you could do to test out your messaging, test out your targeting, all of those things that you can sort of prove out. And the best way, like if you're managing a stock portfolio, the best thing you can do is eliminate the bad ones. So eliminate the ones that are terrible first, find the ones that are okay, and then double down on what's really working. Now, that's how you would manage an investment portfolio. And I really think that's the way to manage your marketing, is to be thinking about, what is my return on investment? What's my ROI? Let's think about it this way. If there was somebody out there selling $10 bills for $2, how many would you buy?
Oh, plenty.
Yeah, right. And so that's the different kind of mindset that I'm talking about, because people go, well, you talk to them about, what do you need? What's going on? Where do you want to go? Here's some ideas and some plans of how to get you there. And then they say, what is this going to run? And they go, oh my gosh, well, I can't spend that.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, if you were spending $2 to make 10, and you made $8 off of that investment, you'd spend it all day long, right? You wouldn't
Right.
worry about what's the price tag. It's, what is my return? And obviously, that's a really great return. You're not going to get that return on everything you do. But what I'm talking about is just a mind shift.
And I love that, because there's somebody else out there. There's a few people out there that are talking about this, some really big names. Brenda Bouchard's one of them. He said, if it costs me $5 for an ad on Facebook to get 12, I'll play that game all day long.
Of course.
And that's the same analogy to your stock market. And some people might say, well, I'm not playing stocks. But a lot of people are playing with their 401ks, and they may not realize that it's the same thing. You're
Right.
looking for your ROI.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know, would I pay $2 for $10? Yes.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing that for our own businesses? Why
Right.
aren't we doing it? Because eventually there's a threshold with that, and the threshold is, I pay 2 for 10, but after a while, everybody knows that I'm selling. Sorry, let me try that again. if,
Okay.
if I am spending $2 to make $10 and I'm delivering really good information, but the only way people know about that is because I have a great marketing message.
Mm-hmm.
And if I follow up and I have great service of whatever it is I'm offering, eventually I don't have to continue to spend as much to have even more revenue come in because referrals will happen. And
Right.
I think sometimes people forget that marketing is a long-term strategy. It can be instant. We can hit the 3% who are ready to buy right now, but more so, we need to be looking at the rest of the folks and warming them up and being top of mind for them.
Right.
And marketing to me, I've always just seen it as, yes, we'll have some immediate success with that, but more so we're building for the future.
It is a long game.
Okay. Yeah.
For most of the businesses, at least that I work with, and so I always say that whatever I'm preaching about is with an asterisk that I can really help businesses who sell considered purchases. So if you're a convenience store or a food truck, food truck I could probably help, but a convenience store, I don't know that I could offer much value there because it's an impulse buy instant thing.
Uh-huh.
It was an unintentional joke, but because I think I could help them with the messaging, getting the word out, and that kind of a thing. But the
Right.
overall, really my strong suit is helping businesses who sell considered purchases, where each new client has high value, means a lot to get that new client, or when you get a client, they buy consistently over time, and so over time, each new client has a lot of value.
Right.
That's
And
why you have to think about this as a long-term game. You're not trying to sell pizza. This is something else.
right, it is just as you said, it's like playing the stock market. It's
Yeah.
all about the long-term ROI because it can you have a stock that you buy today that goes through the roof tomorrow? Absolutely. Is it common? Not likely.
No.
Okay. Might you have a customer that comes through right away? Sure. But you're playing the long-term game because that's where the masses are.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the 3%, whatever it is, it's somewhere in that 1 to 3% range. If you're selling a considered product or service, only 1 to 3% at the most of your market is in market right now, ready to buy what you have. And so the other part of this, like investing, is having the patience that
Mm.
you can't force somebody to be ready to buy. Some people are ready to buy right now. You might hit them at the exact right time, and we love those. But the vast majority of your market isn't quite ready today. And it might be a week, it might be 6 months from now. But when they're in market and you are continually to engage them and kind of remind them that you're there, you're still adding some value, that when they are in market, you're the only place they're going to call on. That's how you eliminate your competitors. Most of your competitors are playing the short game.
Yes.
They're only trying, you are all fighting over that 1 to 3% of the market, and you're discounting, and you're in some cases trashing, your competitor or whatever it is. But the smart businessman or woman is playing the long game and is realizing that 97% plus of my market isn't ready to buy today. And so don't push them, don't press them, continue to add value over time. When they are ready to buy, they're only going to buy from you because you weren't the jerk.
You weren't the jerk. And even even if you have the conversation, the sales conversation with them, and you find out they're really not ready yet, or they don't understand the value and the investment to get that ROI, treat them well and stay in conversation. So often I hear people just dropping the ball once it's a no-go. But my gosh, I've been in business a while, so have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many people do you see come back around when the circumstances are more favorable for them to go ahead and engage with you?
I'd say half of my current client base are people that I talked to 3 to 6 months ago where the timing just wasn't right. They were interested, there was a spark, and then circumstances changed or something came up, or they were just kind of hunting and, kind of doing a little bit of research. They weren't ready yet, and trying to force them to buy before they're ready. I mean, that's a fool's game.
Right. So, Greg, you sit across from business owners all day long, hearing
Mm-hmm.
what their issues are, which are usually, at least these are the three I tend to hear. I want more time, I want more money, I want more customers. Do you hear something like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when somebody says, I want more time, I want more customers, and I want more money, what they really don't understand is they're saying, I need to make really good investments in my resources so I can have more time and more money.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they forget that they're going to have to step out of their comfort zone for a little bit to achieve that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like an Olympic athlete training, they step out of their comfort zone because they want that gold medal. And I think sometimes we forget that we have to go into that place that it might not be what we're already comfortable with. But my statement is, who said life had to be filled with comfort? And I know business surely isn't.
No, I mean, entrepreneurship is one of the bravest, boldest, and if I'll say ballsiest thing, whether male or female,
Yeah.
thing that you can do. It's a tough game, and anybody who's been in business for at least a year will tell you, "Holy moly, I had no idea how hard this was going to be," and yeah, it's real.
We're called crazy for a reason.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So sometimes we forget that there's a lot of experts out there,
Yeah.
true experts, not the capital U, capital N experts that are the shysters saying, oh, get rich in 30 days. You can make $1 million. No. We're not talking about those. We're talking about people that are steady, are there holding your hand, vested in your business just like you are, like
Yeah.
what you do, Greg.
Yeah.
And, your success is dependent upon your client's success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's really good experts out there like that, but the same thing applies where sometimes you have to have a lot of conversations to find the best person. And
Yeah.
and the best person usually doesn't mean the best price tag.
Usually not.
Yeah. And best price tag I'm talking about is the cheapest. Because
Right.
yeah, let's just
So if we're going back to the investment scenario, it'd be like penny stocks, right? I mean, 5 cent stock, it might be, not even worth 5 cents.
and perhaps once upon a time it had its place, but I don't think that has its place today, because if you're going to make an investment, you might as well make an investment that's worthwhile. And the other thing that's amazing about this is today's marketplace for small business doesn't allow a lot of time to pass. You either got to get it or get out.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And it's kind of funny how many small business owners I talk to them about who's, doing their marketing. And it's like, well, my 22-year-old niece, she's young, she gets that stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, she might be on Facebook all day or Instagram, but does she really know? Does she really know what she's doing? I mean, with all due respect, I haven't talked to her, but
Yeah.
maybe she
Well,
does.
yeah. A lot of people can click, point and click, but it's the messaging and then the strategy behind the message that makes it successful.
Right. And so if you learned you had, a really serious heart problem, and would you want to go, I want to find the cheapest guy who will, or guy or gal who will operate on my heart. I want to find the cheapest.
Oh yeah, that's
No, you don't. You want to find, you don't necessarily have to be the best in the world ever, but you want somebody who knows what they're doing, and you're not really going to shop on price, are you? Really?
competency would be good. And that's actually a really cool way to look at your business. Your marketing is like your heart of your business
Yeah,
because it has to keep beating. It has to keep the momentum going of everything else. It starts with marketing.
it is. And I think successful entrepreneurs, small business owners, the ones who are successful that I know and meet are the ones who really do look at this all as an investment and realize that the short term is not going to get them where they want to go. They need to at least be midterm. It doesn't have to be like, I need to see a return on investment in 5 years. That's too long, right? But
Oh yeah.
also, you can't expect it to start something and then get results that afternoon necessarily. They're going to be profitable. But that's the whole thing of test, test, test. It's kind of funny. It reminds me, in a previous life, I was a musician and songwriter, and one of the things that I always heard was, there's no such thing as a song, only a rewrite. And the fact that the finished product that some you hear on the radio, people have worked on that and worked and worked and worked and tried all kinds of different things, different mixes, different lyrics, all kinds of different things. And so in the same way, when you are going to be investing in your business, in marketing your business, I recommend doing small bite-sized tests to find what works, what doesn't, and then double down on what does.
Okay. It really can be that simple. So repeat that.
I have no idea what I just said. I couldn't repeat it to save my life.
Well, experiment, test. You said test. I say experiment. Okay. So
Yeah, and
test.
test and see what you test everything. You test your marketing headlines. You test your targeting. You test if you're on Facebook. One of the biggest things is the image. Since it's such a visual medium and people are just scrolling on their phone, it better have an image that makes them stop and go, oh, what was that? So depending on what it is, you test everything to find out what works. And, as fast moving as things are today, what is continually crazy for one of my clients, we've been absolutely crushing it with it took us a couple of months to get this right. And then starting about a month ago, the messaging, the whole thing just started going sideways. And so we had to figure out a new messaging. For whatever reason, I don't understand that, but for whatever reason, the messaging that was absolutely crushing it for his business now is like getting a collective yawn. And so then we had to test more stuff, and it took a while to find the next new messaging that worked, and now it's working great again. But we had a lull, and we had to see that, okay, because we're continually monitoring. This is an investment. I have to get a return on investment for my clients. This is just me talking, but so that business owners out there understand that we're out there, and I know that if I'm not making you at least 2 or 3 times what you're investing, I'm going to get fired.
Right. Right.
Then I
Every
am a
time you
poor
go to work.
investment.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Then if I'm not doing that, then I am a poor investment, and you should fire me, right? I hold myself to that same standard. Whatever is working, keep it going. If it's not working, try and fix it. If you can't fix it, kill it.
Yes. And I love the integrity of what you just said. If they're not, 2 to 3 times what the investment is, they should be firing you.
Yeah.
And that is phenomenal integrity. I learned that really early on when I joined the coaching industry before it was an industry. And the gentleman who trained me, his statement was, every time you meet with a client, you should risk being fired by them. And I was like, whoa, that is so powerful. But he was exactly right.
Hmm.
And because of that, I don't frost anything that shouldn't be frosted. I just go in and I speak truth. And it's like, here it is, like a laser. And people, they either love it and they engage, or they don't. And that's fine, because time is a resource as well.
Yeah.
And in business, there's no time to waste. And that's why marketing and getting your message right is so important, because we don't have time to waste. Marketers call the experimenting tests.
Yeah.
The rest of the world would say it's experimenting. And I love that more small business owners and entrepreneurs are understanding that there is something called marketing testing, A/B tests. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, because they're starting to understand what it takes to attract business to them. And it really, to me, it boils down to stay in it for the long term and continue to embrace the experimenting, because, man, I hear you about your client. I have just about 1,000 blog posts as this is being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, I've had to switch up how I communicate, different types of images, my language. And the reason is because everything's really rocking, and I have an extraordinarily high ranking on my website because of my blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like in the top 1% of all sites. So clearly something good is happening there. But when I see the dip, because I'm looking at the metrics,
Mm-hmm.
when I start to notice that there's a dip and I start switching things up, oh, that's called experimenting and testing, to see, what is it? Is it the time of the year? Is it my topic? Are my images off? What is it that's going on? And we need people that specialize in that. Now, I have a marketing background, so I know how to do that, even
Mm-hmm.
though I don't do all of it myself for my business. But I know how to do half of it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm blessed, but I don't think people understand the power of the wizard behind the marketing scene, pushing all these different levers up and down to continuously be optimizing. And I think that really is the word, optimizing the investment to get the reward.
Yeah. And I think, and I honestly don't mean this to be self-serving, but I think that for most small businesses, unless your business is marketing, then I think working with a specialist, and a carefully chosen one, is the best way to go. And someone who talks about in terms of ROI, someone who talks about ad optimization and is in it and fully invested in the success of your business. So if you hire somebody and they're just X dollars a month and they're writing blog posts for you or whatever, are they really that invested? I think of someone where there's some sort of a performance component. So that they're really invested in your business. You guys have absolutely aligned interests. That's the way I like to play. That's the way I like to do business. I would encourage small business owners to find someone competent to help them, because what you got into business to do your thing. If you're a painter, you got into business to paint. You didn't get in business to market, and it's a different thing. And all of us are specialists. Whatever it is that you are as a small business owner, you are a specialist at that, or you wouldn't have a business. You've got extra competence and experience, and you're able to do things that a normal, ordinary person cannot do in that area or areas. In the same way, there are other specialists who can help you do what you want to do and make your business even more successful.
Well, this is sort of freaky because as we started this recording, one of my blog posts went live and it said essentially what you just said.
Oh, wow. That's creepy.
Almost paragraph to paragraph.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's just what, you invited me to do the call on Monday, and then I was thinking about that. This is what was kind of bubbling in my head last night of what we might want to talk about. But so obviously we're kind of on the same wavelength somehow, but that would be my, kind of, since this is my last podcast on this would be kind of be my parting advice of, I'm not saying you have to hire me, but, look at hiring somebody who's good.
I love that because I think that's the truth. And, when we cut through all of the fluff, what you said, what I just blogged about, it's the same, and any true expert would say that. If they have integrity and they care about their customers' success. So I want everybody to understand that Greg's sharing the real deal here today and helping you see that maybe it's time to reframe some thoughts about your business and what it needs to grow.
Yeah.
And there are people that are really dedicated to doing that. Some are, some aren't. Some say they are, and they have some skills. But find somebody that's comprehensive and is in it for the long term with you, because those people are priceless. They may even cost a little more, but there's a reason for that. They're the true experts. They've seen it. They know how to avert the train wrecks. Yeah, those happen all the time. So don't underestimate the value of listening to somebody that may have a different price tag than what you initially think. And hear them out as to why it is what it is. Because it is different when you play the type of game that Greg's talking about, with hiring somebody that truly has that expertise.
Yeah, and I think you want to have a good relationship with them, somebody that you can trust and you like working with, and all those things I think are important. And yeah, I think just to get kind of personal about why do I do what I do, I really, really love helping small businesses. And when I see their revenues go up 20% because of what we're doing together, and they're excited, and I was sharing offline before we started recording that I yesterday had a really great conversation with a client who was thrilled with what we're working on. And no joke, I did a happy dance. That's why we do this and so, to the extent that you can, find somebody who loves what they do. You love what you do. We love what we do. And hopefully you find the right partner out there, and it should be a partnership, and you get great results together.
Listen to this man. He is wise and he cares. Oh man, I want to talk more, but we can't.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so thank you. Listeners, this is how you can learn more and engage with #1 best-selling author, Greg Nicholson. Start by reading Chapter 2 in the Blue Book, Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner, and gift your business's performance by accepting his invitation. He has a really cool invitation for you at the end of his chapter on his author's page. And there's also all sorts of social media handles there for you to connect with Greg as well. Here's something that's really cool. If you go to our app for the book series and the authoring team, it's Brilliant Biz Book. Again, Brilliant Biz Book, all one word. You can click on Greg's name and ask him, the expert, a question. You will be able to email him directly and he will respond back to you with whatever is appropriate. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, and I'd be happy to. I don't get enough of those. Just ask me a question. I'm happy to give you my 2 cents.
2 pennies worth. Okay, which is really cool. It's almost like, hey, a marketer on the fly.
Yeah.
And Greg, how else can they get a hold of you? What's your website?
It is elevate-business.com.
Is that dash a hyphen?
It's a hyphen.
Okay. All right. Elevate.
Elevate. Now I can't say it. I'm saying elephant. I could just say it. I got PHs in my brain or in my mouth for some reason. Elevate-business.com. Elevate-business.com, because the intent is to elevate your business.
Oh, well, that would make sense being a marketer. Woohoo! Okay, so he knows how to message. Back to that. Click on it. See what you can do. Greg's a great guy, and if he's not the great guy for you, he may know who is.
Sure.
And he'll send you in that direction. Thanks for your time and wisdom sharing today, Greg.
Likewise.
And listeners, we appreciate you listening to Brilliant Breakthroughs podcast, where you learn how to create more brilliant breakthroughs for your small business. Shine brightly until next week.